today I'm going to be painting a Minotaur for John Watson, one of my patrons. He wants it in red. It's from the Bones Lines of Minis by Reaper Miniatures. It's a fantastic miniature, a very good size. I have glued the base onto a 3-inch plastic base, which I will put gravel around. What I'm going to do first is I am going to paint the whole miniature in a red base coat to start the miniature off, and once I've done that I'll come back. On one final note, I want to say a huge thank you to Mighty Lancer Games, because when I received this miniature it only had the one horn, and Mighty Lancer Games sent me a replacement straight away, so thank you so much for that. Now I've added the base coat, I'm going to do the whole miniature. I'm going to do a wash with a shade wash. I'm going to use Reckland Flesh shade. When you paint the mini this size, all the added extras like the horns and the armour, I will paint separate to the miniature, which will make it easier for later on. So once I've finished the main body, I will then paint up the rest of the armour and add that to the miniature. But for now I will add the shade wash. I'm going to apply the shade wash to the whole body. It's a red wash, and it will highlight all the muscles and give shade into the whole miniature. So we're applying this to the whole miniature. If you add too much, remember you can remove excess ink wash with a tissue. Just cover the whole mini. I want to get all the flesh done first, see. Once the flesh is done, you can work your way up to the armour and the leather parts. It makes it much easier to paint if you have a little routine. Once this is dried, I'll come back and show you what I do next. Now I'm going to add a dry brush to the tops of the skins. I'm using a lighter red colour. Can't really see it very well on the video. It's just very light, just over the flesh. What I'll do next then is I will start painting in all the leather, and I'll start painting in all the armour, which I'm going to be doing in gold. I will paint the staff in brown and all the straps, and I will come back once I've done that stage. So I'm just highlighting the skin tones. I'm trying to get as much done as possible on the skin so I don't have to go back to it later. All the raised areas, just using a slightly lighter shade of red. Once the model is complete, it makes such a difference. There we are. I will come back once I have added the base coats for all the gold and the browns. Now I've done most of the base coat, I can start using ink washes again and some dry brushing. I'll use the dry brushing with a light brown on the fur. I will use a black ink on the silver. I will use a brown ink on the bone colours, and I'll use a brown ink on the gold. Once I've finished doing the ink washes and it's dried, I'll show you the next stage. While the ink is drying on the main miniature, I have painted the base and added the gravel. I will now give this a black ink wash and let that dry too. Here's the finished base. I've just dry brushed it with some greens and some light stone effects, and then just added a few little shrubs, and that'll do very nicely for the Minotaur to stand upon. Well, he's just about done now. I have done all the shading. I have highlighted the gold. With the gold I used a brown ink wash, and then on the edges of the gold I went over with crystal gold paint, just to highlight the edges, and the same with the fur and the skin. I added the eyes and he stuck to the base, and I'm very happy how this miniature turned out. So till next time.